Okay, so let's now do the refactoring. We've already, in the previous video, we talked about like my motivation behind this. We want to have, we want to be able to error early and not be doing checks inside of this to either go on a path that will give us some result, but it might be wrong, or even having to do the checks at all. So let's give this here. We're going to add this to chat, and what am I going to say? Um, refactor so that the query parameter is a struct of half field view and tripod tilt, so that when we are called, the parameter validation has already happened, and the parameters half field of view and tripod tilt are not optional and are already valid F32s. Let's see what this does. So what I really expected to do is create a struct, and I think that the query can be, you can give it the struct that is going to be dumped into. Yeah, okay, so it's looking, yeah, it's actually looking at the get camera for frame. Let's see what it's doing. Okay, so what have we done here? It changed the query param to take a camera frame query params. Good. This is camera frame query params is a new one created in lib. It's not exported. That's good. That's what I expected. It's debug and deserialized. That allows it to turn it into that. And so it is passing in some. That's what I expected, which is great. It only did one thing so far. Right now, this is erroring because, oh, it made both changes at the same time. Cool. I kind of only had to do one, or asked it to do one. Maybe not. Maybe it was ambiguous. So it changed get camera for frame from params to not take optionals and turn this into just half field of view and tripod tilt, which should mean that it took this out. Yes. Awesome. It did both changes that I was going to make all in one sweep. Beautiful. Let's just accept this, and we're going to make sure it compiles. I do wish at this point I had some testing. I could probably ask it to do test. Maybe that's going to be the next sort of video series, is to make this so I can do these refactorings and know that my testing is working right. I certainly have a bit of a brittle nature between the back end and the front end with this. So that is absolutely something I should be doing. But let's focus on the refactoring now. Probably a bad decision. I should probably go back. But anyway, this did exactly what I wanted. Beautiful. So let's see. Now, isn't this nice? So now, like, we're not doing any error checking. Like, the only way to get into this function is to have camera frame query params be valid. I think this can do this. In deserialize, well, I want half field of view to be, sorry, I want, let's add this first. Add to chat. There we go. I want camera frame query params to only be created when half field of view is between let's say 1 and 89. Tripod tilt must be between minus 89 and 89. I want to do validation of this. And I don't want to do validation inside of something else once it's sort of deserialized this. I want the struct to only be able to be created wow, this is going off. I'm not sure this is what I wanted to do. Impl. So we have a validate. Okay. This is absolutely not what I want. Okay. Let's break out of this. I'll let it complete because I can probably stop and reject it. But this is... This is not cool. Yeah, let me try to stop and reject. Okay, I think we're back to how we were before. Okay. Now, for one, like I'd be terrified if we just let that go. Like that needs to stop. So let me try another avenue. I need to wrap this up, but let me see what I can do here. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna manually run this. So let's just call this validated camera query params. We have this impl from. Oh no, sorry, TryFrom. And let's implement this. Hello. Implement, there we go. And type error is going to be anyhow error. So it's a result of self error. There we go. So this is sort of what you know. Let's implement this different. So I'm just fn new half of all this. Yep, there we go. So that's the real new. Let me give you more screen space here, and then the TryFrom is just going to call new on that. There we go. So this is I'm gonna make these pub. Different ways to do validation, and what I want to do is set this up so that the only way to create a validated camera frame query params is to go through the new function, and the new function is only going to be able to create it if it is within range. And half field of view, this should be, let's make this 89, 1, let's go 89 to 89 here. 1, oops, 1 and 89. And there's going to be 89 and 89. There we go. So I hope you see what I'm doing here. So now in main, what is it called? Query param. I'm just trying to find the use of this. I've lost track of where I am here. Oh, we're actually doing this in main. Okay, that's okay, I guess. It's not exactly, but we'll be okay with it for now. Get camera static. Let me find this. Sorry, I should pause this. Here we go. So we pass in query params, and in this case, I'm just letting it. Yeah. So we can just do this. This is great. We're letting the framework handle just the deserialization. And now we're doing a validation here. And this says, okay, let's just turn parameters into validated query parameters. And this way we know that params must have been created through something that is validated. So great way to do validation. The question mark operator allows us to bump out of this quickly. There might be a way in this to go directly into validated, but it's got to go through a validation step. So I'm okay with having this in play. Okay, sorry for that little rabbit hole on the end, but I think that's sort of important to be able to look at this and understand how we allow the deserialization of the parameters, because we must have them to be done in the framework where we don't have to worry about this. I think you could also do some sort of sturdy validation in here, or have a custom deserialize that's only going to be able to return it if it's. I'm happy with this, to have this just do a deserialize against the structure that we're looking for, and then we have a way to turn that into a new type where the only way to create it is through a validation step. Which is not quite true here because of the public nature of this. But don't worry about that. We'll get into that. That's more of a Rust issue. I would really like them not to be able to create structs directly inside of a code block here that has sort of public access to the struct. But again, that's a conversation for another time. Anyway, let me end this, and we'll get on to the next step.